This episode is a conversation with Ashleigh Tremere, a visual artist and poet who released her first book of poetry this year. We talked about making time for art, the benefits of sharing, and how creativity is human nature.
Art, I want you. Art, you make it pretty hard not to. And my heart is trying hard here to follow you, but I can't always tell if I ought to.
Ashleigh, I was a little surprised when I asked you to do this. You seemed surprised.
I was.
And you said, "Oh, but I'm so new." And I thought, well, for someone so new, as you say, you did something pretty impressive this year. You released a book of poetry.
I did.
Can you tell us a little bit about your kind of journey with writing, how you got to where you are?
Well, I guess I've always written. Just classic angsty kid in my room with notebooks, and then for a long time I got out of it. I think having so many children had something to do with that. Just not a lot of like free hands or free mental space.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of years ago, just scrolling through the internet as one does, and I saw that Julie Bull was putting up these 30 prompts in 30 days for Poetry Month. And I thought, I've been like dabbling back into writing. I'll do that. It's very like a set, attainable goal.
It's so good to have like deadlines and goals like that to get you moving. Yeah.
And it was just fun and easy and a thing I wanted to do for myself. And so I started writing that month 2 years ago. And then it just leaked itself back into my life. And I remembered how much I liked that and needed it. And so I just kept going. And then I kind of was like, all right, you've been dabbling back at this. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to do something with it? And kind of again, Julie Bull, who at the time I didn't really know. It was just like, this is a local poet whose work I like. I would run into them here and there at certain places that everyone goes, and they were like, what are you doing with this? Are you going to make a book? You should make a book. And I was like, maybe I'll learn how to make a book. And I just kind of went from there. I guess it was like gentle nudging, because I was like, well, first let's share it. I guess that's where it really started.
Mm-hmm.
The next Poetry Month, I was like, oh, there's all these poetry open mics for Poetry Month. I'm gonna go read one. I'll go read at one. And it probably comes as like a bit of a surprise, but I have terrible stage fright. Like terrible stage fright. So I didn't know if I'd actually get up, but I was kind of like, the universe can decide. If they have space, I'll do it. I'll sign myself up. And I think I did 3 or 4 open mics that month. And, other writers who like John McKenzie and some people whose work I admire, where I think it was John, he said, "You write good. Keep doing that." And I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep doing that.
Yeah, praise from John is rare. So you take that,
Yeah, I took that to heart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was kind of how the book came about. Just like when I tell myself I'm gonna do something, then I just follow that.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been like that, like to my detriment or success, depending on the avenue. So.
And I think for a lot of artists, when they feel like they really need to do something, that need and that desire is going to outweigh any kind of like stage fright or anxiety or that sort of thing. Because it was the same with me when I started performing my own songs too. I was so nervous,
Really?
every time. Yeah, for years. And but there was something that just made me
want to share,
keep doing it. Yeah, it was a need.
Yeah, I just and it's funny because I just go by myself. Like I wouldn't tell anyone besides like my partner that I was going. Just like I'm gonna go do this thing quietly by myself and see what happens.
Yeah, I find it's easier to do things that way sometimes because there's nobody to disappoint if you don't tell anybody you're doing it, you know?
Yeah, I think like the closer people are to you, like your friends or whatever, the more we can be worried about their feedback or lack of feedback.
Mhm.
And so it's just easier to go do stuff. Plus I've always been kind of a person who I really like my alone time,
Mhm.
but I'm a family of 6, so there's not a ton of
6 is
that.
a lot of
So
yeah.
going to do something by myself is like it's like a little treat.
Mhm. Mhm. When you're writing poetry, are you more goal-oriented or, is it more about inspiration when it comes to your writing?
Um, I think, um, heavily inspiration. I'm, uh, I'm riddled with emotion, and I just find, like, so many things are inspiring. Like, I've been inspired by roadkill, by, like, strangers in the grocery store,
Mhm.
and, like, I think just people and the universe in general is just, like, a really if you stop and think about it, there's so much to be inspired by,
Mhm.
and, so, yeah, that's what happens. I see something or experience something, and it, you know, f gives me all the feelings, and then I'll I'll let myself follow that where it goes.
Yeah, so it seems like you're right about pretty much anything and everything. Have you noticed any themes coming up regularly in your work over the last little while that you've been writing?
Well, with the book, like, this last one or this first one last one. I'm already thinking about the
I
next
love
one.
it.
Um, with the first one, it was just kind of like looking at life as, um, the seasons. Like, I love PEI so much because we have such distinct seasonal shifts,
Mhm.
and, um, I tend to think of life as, like, a series of seasons, you know?
Mhm.
And so for that, I was kind of searching through work I'd done that could be broke up into that kind of structure,
Mhm.
like, just looking at life and the seasons in the same kind of dichotomy, I guess.
Mm, mhm.
Um, but yeah, there are a number of themes that repeat themselves. I love trees.
Mhm.
I love feral children. Um, there's a lot I've been writing love poems lately, actually, but not in, like, the traditional sense, like
What do you mean?
well, like saying how strangers in the grocery store eh, can inspire me. There was, like, these 2 ladies and, sometimes when you run into people at the grocery store, that's not what you wanna do or where you wanna be, and they were at the self-checkout, and they were like there's a person in the middle of them, and you could just tell that they wish that they were, like, at brunch or not at the grocery store having to do like, they talk to each other through the whole thing, just, like, over top of this other person, and I was like, "Oh, they love and miss each other," like
Mhm.
and, there's just things like that, or, like,
Mm.
yeah, in that kinda sense, not the traditional, like, romantic love, but,
Mhm.
the love people can find in other people or other places and things around them. So I've been
Yeah.
that seems to be a theme that's coming up lately.
It's a rich thread to draw from for sure.
Yeah, that well's deep.
Talking about reading your poetry, and you've mentioned stage fright already, but do you like doing it?
Yeah, I love it. I
Yeah.
love sharing it. I do. It's terrifying, but, um, I really love sharing it. I don't know, I think, um There's something about getting it out in your own voice. 'Cause, like, when you're reading something, you're hearing it in your head, in your voice, if you don't know the person. Like, many of the books I read, I've never met their author. Um, but there's something about sharing it in your own voice, the way you heard it in your head and your heart first, that is, it just feels really good. I like doing it. It's still terrifying. I'm positive I turn red and my legs shake. People say they can't see it, but
Probably not. It's all part of it. I'm wondering if when you're reading your poems, especially if you're reading something that like maybe nobody has heard before, does it change the poem for you, or does it make you feel different about the poem to read it aloud to an audience?
mm, maybe in a sense. Um, Sometimes I'm not sure if like the message I wasn't intending to be in a piece translates
Mm.
through my reading. Like there's one piece, it's one of my favorite things I've done. It's not in the book. Didn't belong there. But when I read it, I've read it I think 2 or 3 times, like at different events. And people always recognize one of the people in the poem, and they get caught, I think, on their own
Mm.
experience of that, and not actually what I think I'm conveying
Mhm.
with the like combination. So I guess that changes it, you know.
Yeah. I remember sometimes I'd be singing a song and I would get like a new song and I would get a laugh at a line, that I didn't think was funny or I never thought was like anyway.
You didn't
It's
intend
funny.
for it to be funny?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people are hearing it in a totally different way than I wrote it
Yeah.
and I heard it. It's so funny.
Like in a different context of what you were thinking.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I think that's what's great about sharing different kinds of art, because once you put it out there, people are going to see it through their own lens, and
Yep.
and that's fine.
Mhm.
Like that's great because we all experience everything differently.
Yeah.
But it's interesting too.
It's so interesting. Yeah. I like to think that once something gets sent out into the world that other people are hearing it or reading it or whatever, it doesn't really belong to you anymore. It just transforms into a whole bunch of different things for a whole bunch of different people. And
Yeah, well, like we wanna make connections in our heads, like humans just do. Um, and so that's what someone's gonna do.
Mhm.
They're gonna take it into their own context and make their own kind of connection. So
Yep, totally. Do you think every human has an artist inside them? And is creativity part of human nature?
100%. I 100% believe that. Um, like people just a lot of people will say that they're not creative.
Mhm.
Just because maybe they think of it in a traditional sense, but I think that everyone has many creative bones in their body and just don't all look the same, like
Yeah.
I know when I wasn't really having time to create in the way that was in my head, I was always seeking out other aspects of doing that, like arranging my plants around my house,
Mhm.
or like, now I want to rearrange this room, or
Or working on that garden.
like yeah, or gardening. Like, there's just so many little ways that people are creative in their life and they don't give themselves credit for it.
Yeah.
Or, I guess I'm speaking from a place of privilege here because I've found time to follow my own creative interests. A lot of people don't have time to pursue
definitely.
the creative feeling or thoughts inside of them.
Mhm.
But it doesn't mean they're not there. I think it very much makes us human. Like I have a friend who stacks rocks
Mhm.
and like really interesting stacks of rocks. And that's art, that's creativity, and it's cool,
Yep.
So I
Totally.
think that exists in all humans.
Yeah. In most artistic circles, as soon as you have a product, you have a business. Now that you have a book, are you feeling pulled to concentrate more on like marketing and publicity? And how do you feel about that whole side of the art
Oh,
business?
awful. No, I'm terrible at publicity. I'm I'm not good at selling myself, I don't think.
Mhm.
Um, I don't like any part of that. That part is I don't think I'm built for it. Maybe it's something I'd have to learn if I really wanted, but also I really just enjoy creating things, and then I think, it'll find people or maybe it won't, but I I did it cuz I told myself I was going to, and I'll keep doing it because like it brings me joy.
Mhm. Yeah.
But there I'm in no way good at doing that.
Yeah, I've heard very similar things from most of my guests. And I feel the same way too. It's one of the reasons why I just kind of backed away and stopped playing so much because I could never do that side of it. And I felt terrible trying to tell people why I was great. It was the worst thing ever.
Yeah, explaining your art is awful, or explaining like I didn't even try to pitch my book to anyone because I was just like, what am I supposed to say?
Mm.
And also, like, I wondered that for a while, I thought you left the island again. Like, I thought you moved away because you were always playing and then you weren't. So I just assumed you moved away again because I knew you would go places to work or travel. And yeah,
Nope.
no, just did not want to sell yourself every day.
Yeah, exactly. I've kept writing and stuff, but it was partly that. I mean, there was a lot of reasons, but
Mm.
it was, I was wondering what I was doing it for, after a certain while, and I really wanted to get back to what why I wanted to write songs, and turns out I really just want to write them for me.
Yeah. See, and that's a beautiful reason to
Yeah.
write. I
Yeah.
don't think we have to monetize everything.
No, and part of me thinks that monetizing art forms was a bad idea,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
it created a lot of crap that people have to deal with now, and it created a lot of like assumptions that if you want to make art, you have to do it for money. And so a lot of people just don't even bother or don't even practice it to get better, in
mm.
quotations, at it, and feel like they're just not good enough because they can't sell it. And that's terrible.
Yeah, and then it also makes you, like, doubt yourself,
Mhm. Yeah.
like, the doubt lives very close to the surface for me anyway, and, um, yeah, there's so much being pushed to consume,
Mhm.
and, um, I just think that people then get drowned it out in that, like, and intimidated by it to a point where, like, you don't put it out there because
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't do it like those people are doing it. You
yeah,
don't have that. Yeah, I think it limits a lot of people into what they think they can do
yeah,
or should.
and and also, like, I'm probably not alone in this, but, like, I've never had an inclination to wanna be, like, a famous person,
Mm.
you know?
Me neither, but I did at one point want to make a living
Yes, yeah,
from music.
that's true.
And eventually, when I realized how much harder I'd have to work to do that was another reason why I backed away because I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that.
Mm,
Let's make money a different way. And then, well, yeah.
create
And then
music for joy.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not trying to, certainly there's a lot of people out there that are making a living at it.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that's,
very happy for them.
yes,
Yeah,
well done.
well
It's
done.
not easy.
No.
Um, but certainly not for me. What do you love most about the practice of writing poetry?
Hmm. What do I love most? Um, that's kinda hard to put into words, I guess. I think it's just like when I'm writing, I get to follow those thoughts and those feelings and like just seeing what becomes of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like where they take me, and sometimes connect me to things I didn't think about at first. Like I just the weaved webs of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I just really enjoy putting pen on paper. Like
Yeah.
there's something just very gratifying about that, and I don't know. It's like zen or therapy or what it is,
Yes.
but just physically writing in itself feels nice, and I think
Mhm.
since it's something that I have done since I was young, to some level, with a bit of a chunk of a break in there,
Mhm.
um, yeah, it just feels like a natural thing for me to do. So,
Mhm.
does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. The actual for me too, just putting pen on paper is one of the best parts of writing for me. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter what I'm writing most of the time. And a lot of the time I'll just do free writing for, an hour or something. But lately I started actually writing in cursive again.
Oh.
For some like it was one day at work, I was just writing notes and then I just started writing in cursive and I was like, oh. And it was like a whole new I forgot how soothing it is. Like you have to slow right down and I had to remember how to do certain, bits because I had, as most people, I think we eventually kind of morphed our handwriting into something that goes faster and is kind of cursive, but is kind of printing anyway. So anyway, I'm just really in love with cursive writing
That's nice.
lately.
It sounds like your handwriting was probably much more legible than mine, because mine is definitely like a scrawling thing that's trying to keep up with my brain. Um, but I like that too. Like scratching stuff out and then going back. It's
There's space for all of it, for
Mm.
sure. Yeah. I inherited beautiful cursive writing from my mother, although hers is still much nicer than mine. Do you think if you hadn't latched on to writing poetry in the last little bit, that you might have done something else? Drawing, painting,
um
dancing.
dancing. Well, I kind of ended up um yeah, I think I would have. And I have been exploring like visual art more, because I've always drawn. I would create art like again for a long time, but mostly it would be like, oh, it's someone's birthday. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like draw them a picture that of things they like, or something that they might appreciate.
Did you do the cover of your book?
I did.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Thank you. And then I actually, yeah, I would have just kept making some kind of art. Like even when, um, even before, I'd say I started taking it a little bit more like, okay, let's do something with this. Um, I have this little corner of my house that's just my little corner, just full of all my different arts and crafts and whims
Mm-hmm.
that I would like. I did like those wall hanging tapestries, I'd call them, my
Mm-hmm.
weavings,
Yep.
for a while. And yeah, I've always been driven to like create something. So
Yeah.
I would have,
You always find a way.
or even like stack rocks, or,
Yeah.
or make strange feral gardens. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I am glad that it's writing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do actually have art up right now at the Gallery Coffee House and Bistro, because Jessica is such a wonderful human who's just like super supportive of the local arts community, and had saw some of my drawings,
Mm-hmm.
and was like, would you be interested? And I just say yes to stuff now. So, so over the winter, I decided to try my hand at painting. Um, I got to experiment with a lot of different stuff.
Awesome.
It's definitely some first attempts, but like I like a lot of this stuff too.
That's
And
that's the most important thing.
yeah. And it's like if you're not doing something or practicing at something, you're not going to get to where you'd like to be in your head. So you just have to
You have to keep doing
you just
it.
have to do it.
Yeah.
And then just expect growth or engage to a level where you see growth eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. You've talked a few times about kind of being pushed a little bit by people that have noticed your work. How important is support from the community when it comes to artists kind of getting their stuff out there?
oh, I think it's tremendous. Like honestly, yeah, without Julie Bull, this my book probably would have never happened or would have took much longer.
Mm-hmm.
As it was, it did take longer because I wouldn't just accept Julie's help. Um, I'm not good at accepting people's help or asking for it in general. But we also didn't really know each other that much then. And so I definitely wasn't going to just say yes and let them help me. But then we met for what I believe was a lovely trap because we would get together and write sometimes, just like they had an open call. Hey, I'm going to be here writing. If anyone wants to do
Seen
like
some
some
of those, yeah.
co-working. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then they invited me over for a writing date at their house and was like, hey, how's the book going? Dare I ask? And I explained the hiccups I was running into. And they were like, no, listen, you have it done. Like, let's make this book happen right now. And literally just like formatted it for me, put my art into it for me, made the whole thing happen. Like, it would not
Amazing.
have. It was so
Like an
genuine.
intervention.
Yes, it was. It was a creative intervention. And it was so lovely. And yeah, I think that having people supporting you, other artists, is tremendously important. And Julie is notorious for that, just genuinely helping other creatives with their creative endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I've been lucky to run into a couple of people like that in the last couple of years who are just genuinely supportive artists who want to help people reach their creative goals
And can make shit happen.
Yeah. Oh, people who can make shit happen.
Yeah.
Who have like a different
I love
skill
those
set
people.
from you.
Yeah.
Who can just be that like little bridge.
Yeah.
They're the best people.
Even people that when you're feeling the doubt and you're
Mm.
like, should I be doing this? I can't do this. Just someone to pop up and say, yeah, you can. Of course you can.
Yeah.
Let's do it. It's so simple, but
Mm.
it's what you need
Yeah.
sometimes. Just get past.
Some people are just creative buoys, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's so nice to find them when you're just out there kind of floating.
Mhm.
You know.
So it seems like your books are probably nearly sold out, but where can people find them if they are still out there?
Yeah, no, there's still some out there. I didn't print many because, like, I self-published it, so cost
Who
prohibitive.
can afford that? Yeah.
But I had it printed here locally at Dalmac because that was super important to me to like support other local businesses in our communities. But you can get it at Glass Roots, which is a awesome hand blown glass shop on what do they call Queen University
George.
Great George
Yeah.
Great George. And it's at the coffee house, get the gallery coffee house, and it's at the bookmark, all the bookmarks. And I do have a couple left in the back of my van. So I will always sell it straight out of there too. But yeah, the bookmark and And those other places are great places to go into and find other.
Are they ever? I can't
Yeah.
walk into the bookmark without leaving with like at least several books and much less money than I
Yeah.
walked in there with.
It's true. But I always feel good when I spend my money in places like that because
Totally.
they're locally owned, they're good humans, and it's just going back into the circle of where all our money should be going, you know?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Thank you so much. This
Thank
was
you.
Great.
I wondered what would be the worth of my words in the world. If I write them and then recite them, are they worth being heard? Just because I like them, does that mean that I should mic them and see what might unfurl? And I think of the significance of my opinions here. Is it significant to be giving them? Does anybody care? Just because I'm into this, does that mean that I should live like it? And really, do I dare? Art, I want you. Art, you make it pretty hard not to. And my heart is trying hard here to follow you, but I can't always tell if I ought to. So I pondered the point of my art in this life. If I make it, will someone take it and think that it's genuine? Would they be glad that I did, 'cause they got something good out of it? Would they leave me and be any more inspired? And I question the outcome of the outpouring of myself. If I tell everyone my stories, would this keep me healthy and well? Would it give me purpose and to this world some sort of service? Is it worth it? How could I tell? Art, I want you. Art, you make it pretty hard not to. And my